Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Game Vault podcast stream. I'm your host, Mark. We're here with the news hour for Sunday. Well, I guess it's Monday, June 30th when this will go live. But those of you on Twitch, it is still June 29th. Did I say July 30th? It's June 30th on Monday. Either way, we're getting to the end of June here. So just this year is just flying by. Got some final things coming up. A very important day coming up next Sunday. So we'll be doing a semi-celebration on that day, depending on what else I have to do during Sunday. But there will be a news hour. Just getting towards the end of softball stuff. And it's just crazy. Your boy here, in preparation for New York Comic Con in October, and probably just for my overall general health, went to the gym this weekend, both days. Mainly did treadmill and, leg stuff one day, and then I just did, upper body today. So a little sore, but it felt really good getting back to the gym. I used to go, 3 days a week for a while, until I moved out here, just because it was more, and maybe slightly TMI stuff, but it was more of a not wanting to be in the house I was in as little as possible. Essentially, once I got pulled into my own space, I didn't feel the need to escape for 2 hours to go to the gym. But with Comic-Con coming up and Kitty Ashcat joining me, I gotta get my legs a little more in shape for the walk-in, and overall maybe lose a few pounds from after seeing some photos from graduation days. I could lose a few lbs. So your boy. My plan is not that fitness talk is great on this video game podcast, but we'll be talking a lot about walking shortly. My goal is to at least go Saturday, Sunday. And then if I can get there during the week, I will. I think there's a few days where I can, almost every week. But worst case, when it's not 90 billion degrees outside, when it's just in the 80s, I think I'm going to take a mile to 2 mile walk every day. Basically, it's a half mile from here to my sister's. So that'd be a full mile up and back. So if I do that twice or just one, I just need to get the legs ready for walking, and, strengthen the back and all that stuff, for Comic-Con. So no, this is the last health updates, that I will give. But yeah, if your boy sounds a little bit more tired than usual, it's because he's tired in a good way this time. But anyway, speaking of walking, it's a great transition. As if you've been watching the channel all weekend since Friday, we are playing Death Stranding 2 on the beach, and I may actually play after this stream. I just needed a little bit of a break between when I streamed this afternoon and the news hour, just to download some stuff and upload some videos, and just in general, just catch up on things, do chores, because we did about 8 to 10 hours on Saturday, and I had a Friday night from hell, so I didn't have much time to do, vacuuming and things like that, so I took the time after the stream to do all that. But I really want to get back into it, and I only technically have a 3-day work week coming up. Thursday, I'm working from home, essentially on my phone, on my laptop at, so I'm not technically in the office on Thursday, so I don't care if I'm tired tomorrow, so I just want to play as much Death Stranding as possible, and maybe it's just a cozy stream where I'm just doing a bunch of deliveries and stuff like that, but I'm ready to meet some more of the characters. So through the first 12 and a half hours, I think, maybe 15, I think it's 15, because we did, let's see, we did 8 hours, we did about 8 hours Saturday. We did an hour and a half on Friday. So 10, and then we did about 4 today. So yeah, we're about 15 hours in. Unless if they're counting like in-game timer, because I died a bunch to the first boss of the game, until I figured out how to actually fight bosses again. And also I had trouble with a delivery that was fragile. And that's not a euphemism or anything, because one of the characters is named Fragile in the game. But no, it was literally like you couldn't bump into a tree or else it would be destroyed and you'd have to restart. So it might be a little less in-game timer, but definitely 15 hours over here, and I am loving it so far. It's not as good as Expedition 33 yet. And I don't know how far into it I am at this point, but it did not grab me. It's such a weird thing. I really wish I was better at putting it into words. Why Expedition 33 grabbed me so much. And I, did all the work to platinum it. I stayed up to 4 in the morning to get the platinum. Like, something about the game just grabbed me. Maybe it's great writing, great storytelling, great voice acting, great battle system. I don't know what got me hooked, but it's going to be really hard to dethrone that game. There's not going to be like a Balatro that comes out of nowhere. Even a Ball Cross Pit is going to probably be in my top 5 if it releases this year. That game is ridiculous and really good. If the demo's still working, maybe I'll run that for you guys. I'm thinking maybe doing a kind of birthday stream on Sunday. And, leading up to the news hour. So maybe I'll do some of that stuff early, and then we'll play some Death Stranding, and then we'll get into the news hour. It's everything you want from a Kojima game, DS2. There's insane stuff, there's cringy stuff, there's really good heartfelt stuff, which sort of comes out of nowhere in some cases. The combat's fine. I still don't like it. It's my least favorite thing in Death Stranding. But at least they improved it enough. Now, I think they figured out that it wasn't fun to have you, if you accidentally killed someone, needing to go run them to an incinerator. Or you would be void out and it would be game over. So they improved that. You don't have to do that. Every gun you own is rubber bullets and just knocks out people. Oh, I didn't realize my Mountain Dew would be completely eliminated with the green screen. That's funny. That's for your video people out there. See me drinking from an invisible bottle. Anyway. Yeah. And one of the flip sides, there's no sponsorship. Like the weird monster one. Maybe he just needed that to get it off the ground last time. But now it's like chiral tea or something. I guess it's supposed to be like green tea. So, yeah, it's what I can absolutely say about it, because I'm trying not to say spoilers on here at all. I'm going to be very vague and just basically give an opinion of what I'm seeing so far, and if anything's changed my mind, or if there's been crazier stuff, or what I think of characters and things like that. But I won't get into any spoilers here, mainly because we're streaming it. You can go check out the YouTube channel. To see my immediate thoughts on things that happen. But the whole process of that game is still very much Death Stranding. A lot of it to the core. But the thing that's very different from Death Stranding 1, and you notice it immediately. I'm playing on a base PS5, and the vistas are just out of this world. I cannot imagine what it'll look like on PC, PS Pro, if there's a big difference in quality mode. I play in quality mode because frame rate doesn't... I'm not I don't really notice frame rate. In some cases I can, but I wanted to see what this looked like at top quality on base PS5, um, and how it held up, and it's gorgeous, and that's with me, playing on a smaller TV. Than my big one out there. I can't wait to experience it, post game, on my 55-inch television. Maybe start a new game, and just see everything from that point of view. There's weather effects now, which look amazing. There's this red lighting that happens with some of the BTs that is just very creepy and very much a great atmosphere when you're being hunted by them. Yeah, but the core concept of the game is still there. They're still making deliveries. You're still building things. You're still bridges and watchtowers and post boxes and roads and, all that stuff from DS1 is still there. I haven't gotten too much of the new stuff. I think I'm about to get to some of the new stuff. They have like a zip line system that's supposed to work like trains or something. You've seen it in the trailer where he's sort of just hanging and going along a line. I think it's sort of like a monorail sort of system. But yeah, so far so good. It's definitely staying in its position as the number 2 game of this year. Behind behind Expedition 33. Nothing that I have done or seen. Sorry. I just noticed how oily I look on the video because of it's warm in here. I don't have my AC on just because I don't need it, but I noticed that the camera is not very much liking the way I'm looking. But anyway, the game has a new effect, which I don't know if it was in the first one, and plenty of games have done this, so I'm not saying this is a new effect, but when it's raining and stuff, it shows up on your screen as though you're looking through glasses because you're wearing sunglasses. It's not first person, it's third person, but nice little effect there. So far the two places have looked different. Not 100% different. It basically, I'm waiting to get more into the second land to see if there's much bigger difference between them. But one's desert, one's like desert-y sort of look, and without giving away locations, it's very understandable why they would be sort of similar. But yeah, Death Stranding 2 has done nothing to drop it from the number 2 slot, and it'll take something knocking it out of there at this point going forward. So yeah, I think that's the only thing I played this week, stream-wise. I did not play Trails because I want to get as much done this weekend because I'm not going to be able to stream much next weekend for Death Stranding. So maybe we just play Trails on Saturday or something instead of. But anyway, yeah, I didn't play the game on Monday. Yes, because we did Ghostbusters 2, which we can start there with games I played off stream. I'll have my full opinions on Podcast Prime in a couple weeks. But that game is hot garbage. And for very much the reasons those late NES licensed games were. So yeah, I don't recommend playing it at all. But we'll get into deeper thoughts on it on the podcast there. What else? I jumped back into some college football just because 26 is coming out soon. So I just wanted to get in there and I played a couple games. And then just continuing to hockey. Just really seeing how many goals I can get this one guy to get without... I don't actually force feed him, just through the action. And I found a little bit of not a cheat code, but every NHL game has, the goal that you can score most of the time on. I would say a good 60% of the time, which is good. Hockey, you're only supposed to shoot like 18% whenever you take a shot. So 60%, really good. And this isn't a Anchorman joke. It works 60% of the time all the time. But really, it's probably about 6 out of 10 times. The new one-timer system, which I love, which basically, as I've announced here before, it puts a little like target underneath your guy to let you know that he's in position for a one-timer. And so I love that. But I found out that if you have your defenseman set up so that the handedness they are is the opposite of what they should be. Most of the time, like right-handed defensemen are supposed to be on the right side because then they can get the puck off the boards on their forehand, and left-handed defensemen left side, same thing. But if you flop them so that the open part of their sticks where they would shoot from is net side and not board side. If you time the one-timers up and you slap it, 6 out of 10 times it goes in. That is how I got my one defenseman currently has 71 goals just from doing that. And the best part is that the AI is starting to read it. So it's been getting a little harder to just get open shots. So that's been kind of cool figuring that out. But I have found the one goal. For those who don't know, there was in NHL 94, there's a famous thing. I believe that's the one where you can go around the net and score just about every time. I believe 93 is one-timers. I think it's one-timers. Or shoot 5-hole, like shot and down or something. They all have something that you figure out how to score just about every time. But at least this one's a little fun because sometimes it can not work. Sometimes the goalie makes a spectacular save. Sometimes shot gets blocked. But yeah, NHL's been fun. Still playing it through. I hope they improve in 26 on what I've seen here. 25 was an improvement over 24. And I hope it keeps going because NHL was in the dumpster for a while. And that's about all what I've been playing. It's probably going to be a lot of Death Stranding. And then I think I got my game lined up after Death Stranding, or lined up for after Trails. I'll probably make that announcement next week with that. But yeah, let me know in the comments or on Blue Sky or wherever you follow us on social media. Just what have you guys been playing? What's been your summer game so far? Did you get a late start on Expedition 33 and that's been your summer game? Are you jumping in with DS2? Are you playing? Do you have a Switch 2 or are you playing Mario Kart World? Let us know. We would love to hear it in the comments and on social media. So without further ado, let's move on to the news. So this week, because we work 9-to-5 jobs here, and some of us have children, not myself, but we were not able to watch the Capcom thing with you guys, but it is our opening story here. As shown in the trailer at Summer Games Fest, for the first time in over a decade, Resident Evil Requiem, or RE9, will return to the franchise's original overarching narrative featuring Raccoon City and Umbrella. 7 and 8 were more not so much Umbrella, but a little bit of Umbrella in 8. But they are going back to that. The director said, in recent mainline titles like Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village, the series has explored the broader world of Resident Evil universe by focusing on incidents involving the Winters family. With Resident Evil Requiem, however, we wanted to return to a story that continues the overarching narrative rooted in Raccoon City and the secret machinations of the Umbrella Corporation. As the series celebrates its 30th anniversary, we believe Raccoon City is the most fitting setting. So the game releases on February 27th of next year. 30th anniversary is March of next year, so they'll probably definitely hit that date. So it looks like Grace is going to be the playable character, the one you met in the trailer. I don't think Leon's going to be there, mainly from this quote from the director. We always thought about making Leon the protagonist, but he said that he is a bad match for the horror genre of this. Meaning he's a lot better for the action in like 4, 5, and 6, but the horror aspects, he felt he's not as much of a match. So, so if you look forward to RE9 out there, just know it's going to be the same old bullshit in a good way. Like bullshit, parentheses, positive, of Raccoon City and Umbrella. And speaking of that, Capcom Spotlight, here's everything that was announced. If you want to go watch it, they started off with a Pragmata gameplay deep dive. I'm still on the fence about this game, even watching this. I think it could be cool in the way the combat, the hacking and shooting, and having to dodge enemies while hacking, because enemies can't be hurt while you're hacking, or can't be hurt until you hacked it. So, just kind of, I'm still iffy on it. It's Street Fighter 6. Sagat is coming on August 5th. He was one of the 4 characters announced back at, I believe that was Summer Games Fest. So he's the first one coming out on August 5th. If you have the Fighting Pass, you will get him. There. And they had some new outfits that they made as well. If you go to Street Fighter Twitter or Blue Sky, you'll be able to find them there. And the next thing, if you're watching the video, we just talked about that. I pulled that aside. Monster Hunter Wilds. So that was a big part, a lot more than I thought that it would be. The free title update 2 launches on Monday or today. And the Festival of Accord Flame Fete seasonal event will follow from July 23rd through August 6th. With Arch Tempered Unduna. I really wish Night Duck was here. Arriving from July 30th through August 30th, and the Fender Ever Event Quest is from August 27th to September 24th. Free title Update 3 is scheduled to launch late September, and that will add a new monster, as well as another Festival of Accord seasonal event. So if you're still playing Monster Hunter Wilds, or never stopped, a lot of stuff seems to be coming this summer for you. So just be on the lookout for that. Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, released special content because it was the year anniversary. It's I'm sorry, I've lost my train of thought here. Partake in festivities involves a Meizo talisman called the Yachi Waves, which alters the music with a nostalgic filter that gives it an 8-bit style. New and existing players will be able to use it, starting with the update set to arrive next month. That was it from the thing. Like I said, it was a lot more Monster Hunter Wild than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be mostly RE9, but I guess they just had a lot more to talk about Monster Hunter Wild there. So that was the Capcom Showcase. And other news from Microsoft, which we, disclaimer, Xbox is still part of the BDS boycott list for Azure being used by the Israeli military. So if you are following that boycott, letting you know that it's still going on. But I did want to talk about a really cool story that came through for Microsoft here. They updated the Xbox 360, and basically it's just a way to try to get people to buy Series X or S's. So basically, um, it has, upgrade today, experiences next gen performance, and someone says technically shouldn't that be next gen? The update has a QR code, so you can quickly load up the store and get the console prices. Um, as mentioned before, Microsoft finally shut down the Xbox 360 marketplace last year, stripping out Xbox 360 dashboard elements linked to the store in the process. Today's update makes the whole thing look a little neater. If you're happy to stick with your 360, the update also welcomes a fix for the console's main game title, which previously displayed stretched artwork. So the update here just makes it look a lot cleaner and a lot more fun than it was looking before. 360 turns 20 years old later this year. Jesus Christ. Originally launched on November 22nd, 2005. A lot of people are, happy that they didn't leave them behind, and now the dashboard, quote from somebody on Reddit, I think, said, they could have left us with a shitty dashboard, but they did not. So if you have a 360 still plugged in and it's connected to the internet, you're probably getting an update next time you turn it on. Speaking of updates to online services, the Super Mario Strikers is the next GameCube title coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Super Mario Strikers is a fantastic game. Might be one of my favorite Mario sports games or Nintendo sports games. I was upset by the how much I didn't like the new one for Switch. This game was just such a breath of fresh air in terms of, those of us who played like Mega Man Soccer and all those other, licensed, sports soccer games that weren't that good. This was fantastic. A lot of fun to play with your friends. Waluigi does the suck it thing whenever he scores a goal. Sort of crotch chops after he scores, which is very weird that was on a Nintendo game. But that is coming out next week. The GameCube library. Jesus, now that I made fun of myself, I can't say it. The GameCube library currently includes The Legend of Zelda, Wind Waker, motherfuckers, F-Zero GX, and Soul Calibur 2. Further titles thought to be joining the service will be Super Mario Sunshine, bad choice, Luigi's Mansion, good choice, Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness, and more. This great update for the Nintendo Switch Online. Moving on to the Nintendo block, Nintendo fans are upset by the patch Nintendo made because it was a very Nintendo thing. So they patched the online for Mario Kart World. I haven't really played Mario Kart World. Obviously, I don't have a Switch 2. But apparently, when you played online, you could people didn't want to do the drive between courses. What's it called? Drawing a blank. The highway between the courses, the new fun thing between races that Nintendo had put in. So they were doing this thing where they were picking random courses around, so they didn't have to do the drive between. Like Rainbow Road, you don't have to do it for. And apparently now, from reading this, I'm still confused exactly what it's doing because I don't have an experience doing it. But essentially, they're tweaking the randomization and kind of trying to force people to do the highway part between races. As a fan said online, thanks, I hate it. So Nintendo once again doing something that nobody asked for. 0 people asked them to change this. And they saw, hey, nobody's playing this new thing we put in there. Why don't we force them to do it? That'll make everybody happy. And they went ahead and did it. But since it's Nintendo, and nobody believes me that Sonic Team Racing, or Sonic Racing, is a good kart racer, people will just suffer and keep playing this. I wish they would go over to Sonic. Because Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed might be my second favorite kart racer of all time. Behind Mario Kart 8. Because 8 is just the refined best of everything they've done. So next up, sticking with Nintendo, one thing I am upset about is that there will probably be no Zelda, Animal Crossing, or other franchises in the game. It's just going to be all Mario-centric. This is what I was worried about with the Sonic Racing. I thought they were just going to stick in the Sonic universe. But it looks like Nintendo's going to do that. There is good and bad with it. The good being, it very much fits the aesthetic that you wouldn't have anybody else in the world, because I believe that the courses are supposed to be essentially from the Mushroom Kingdom. So why would Zelda show up there? Why would, any of the Animal Crossing people, KK Slider or anybody like that, show up there? So that makes sense. At least they're sticking to their guns with that. But I would like to play as Link. I played as Link in 8, and I would like to keep playing as Link. So we'll see. I don't think they're going to add anyone, because this looks like when Nintendo puts their foot down about something, like the online stuff, they keep their foot down about it. So I am not expecting anybody outside of the Mario World universe to show up in these games. So yeah. So sorry if you're a Link player like me, you're not going to be able to play as Link. Next up, we have a Civ 7 update, which introduces huge maps, new town specializations, workshop support, and more Gwendolyn Christie. Again, I have purchased this game and have not played it since launch. I played like 3 matches and then just kind of forgot I had it. But this is what happens. They put a big update out. Huge maps, going to help a lot. That may bring me back once I'm done with DS2. But yeah, so there's going to be, as like I mentioned, the stuff I mentioned above, city-state bonuses, beliefs, balance changes, UI improvements. Thank fucking God. And best, of course, a very pettable scout dog. That's pretty good. For the best experience, we recommend starting a new game or continuing your current game into the next age. Yeah, because I said players can also finish their current save under a previous version by using the Legacy Steam beta branch. Backwards compatibility for existing saves is also available, although you should note that some abilities or effects may not appear until you start a new game or advance to the next age in your current campaign. So for those of you playing Civ 7 up there, you're getting some big updates. If you're in the middle of a game, make sure you go to that next age as soon as you can so you can get some of the new stuff in there. I may jump back into this once I'm done DS2. Next up, Sony removes games from PS Plus, even its own games, which is crazy, because they want to keep the proposition interesting and help people find new games. So basically, it's like we're going to force you to play games, which is the complete opposite of what Game Pass does. It took down 20 games in May. Some made sense, but yeah. As Sony said, we got 80 collections of games across the catalog, so we want to keep it fresh and bring in new games, something that means taking a few games out at the same time to keep the proposition interesting and help people find new games as well. It says engagement has never been higher. Yeah, so, and he declined to speak explicitly about how pricing impacted that, and he did not offer subscriber numbers, but he did explain some of the logic behind which game Sony chooses. For instance, the company tries to find a moment to grow a franchise, such as by releasing a game on the service just before its sequel launches. He also says that Sony tries to add roughly one new classic game per month, though they may not always meet that goal due to emulation taking time. That's bullshit because all the emulation for PlayStation things has been done. That's just laziness. So, yeah. So if you're playing any PlayStation Plus games, I would try and finish them as quickly as possible because there's no guarantee that they'll still be there. And finally, our last story here. Sony announces the monthly games for July 2025. So more bullshit basically from the same thing. So the monthly games for 2025 are Diablo 4, The King of Fighters 15, and Jusant. PS Plus 15th anniversary celebration kicks off. It has kicked off with the trial of 2K25 for PS Plus premium members and a trial of Monster Hunter Wild for the same people. So basically trying to get people to go to the higher tier, which I will personally recommend not doing. I will, as much as the BDS stuff and the boycott stuff, if you follow that, you won't do this. But if you're a person that doesn't really follow boycotts or do anything, to each their own. Game Pass is a much better value, even with its crazy system, than these tiers. These tiers are insane for Sony. You only need the lowest tier. You're not missing anything. At least with Game Pass, they give you Xbox games free day one, like Oblivion and Call of Duty and stuff like that. Just know that these three games, Diablo 4 is a great game. I know Goat plays it a lot, friend of the stream. And then, getting fighting game and all that, but yeah. And free game's a free game. So that'll do it for the podcast. I will be back. What time is it? I'll be back at, let's say 10. Let's call it 10. To play some DS2 until I do not want to stream anymore. So I may make myself real tired for work tomorrow, but I'll just get a couple energy drinks and be good. So thank you once again for joining me. It's fun as always. We got a lot of Death Stranding coming this week. I'm hoping to get it all done by the end of July. That's the hope, just because I will be away for like almost an entire week. Which reminds me, I gotta set up someone to come feed the cat for that, because I am headed to Toronto on July 22nd. And then I will be going to Pittsburgh for my niece's final softball tournament. Unless they win that tournament, then they have one the next week, which I don't know if I'll be able to go to. Because I'm just assuming they're going to lose. So I don't have to. So that's why I'm doing the Toronto trip. Because I usually save money in case if they win, but I'm like, it's been 4 years, and they've never even come close to winning. So if they win this year, joke's on Mark about that. But yeah, so I'll be gone that whole week, so I'm hoping to have DS2 done by then. So, but God knows with Kojima. So thank you guys for joining me. We'll be back tonight with probably some, tonight meaning those listening to the podcast on Monday, with some Death Stranding 2 as well, because I won't be able to stream much this weekend, so I want to get a day or two in this week before then. And then on the Monday after that, we'll be starting our new Retro Red Endurance run, which is me playing through the 6 Mega Man games for the Nintendo Entertainment System. We will start with Mega Man 1. Note, I have beaten Mega Man 2 before. It's been a while, but I have beaten it. So that won't be a first-time beat, but it would put the other 5 would be marked as first-time finishes as we go through it here. So be sure to look out for that. Thursday, Final Fantasy VI. We'll be doing that. So Tom's getting close to the one of my favorite moments in video game history. And we'll not to put too much pressure on that moment, but yeah. So be sure to tune in and have a good night and have a good 4th of July. I won't see you until the most important day in July, on Sunday, July 6th. So enjoy your 4th. Don't blow off any fingers with fireworks, and enjoy your hot dogs, hamburgers, or your Impossible hot dogs and hamburgers, or beyond, whichever the non-meat brand you choose. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye!